Have you done something that you're not proud of? That you're afraid of being judged for doing? Welcome to the human condition. Healing the toxic, chronic shame that binds you, that prevents you from fulfilling, that prevents you from reaching your potential. Hanging on to toxic shame is like dying slowly without getting to live. Stick around to see how you can let go of chronic toxic shame. Have you ever felt like something is just off? Like no matter how hard you try, something is just gripping at your heels and it's not letting you move forward. It's not stress, it's shame. Because shame has been defined by our society as something you can't talk about because it makes you feel ashamed. Well, according to consciousness research, shame is very low in the energy field. It's very close to guilt and it is essentially like death. It is toxic and it is essentially toxic shame. And what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you 3 ways to start relinquishing this shame in a safe way. And if you stay to the end, I'm gonna give you a bonus tip that's gonna change the way you view your body, your mind, and your soul. And no, it's not breathe into your balls like you've heard a million times. So stick to the end. All right, so toxic shame. Number 1, the first way to release it is to speak your truth. If something is bothering you, instead of letting it fumigate inside your body, make it a challenge to turn it into energy so it can impact the world around you. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and it's one of the best personal development books of all time. And he talks about disinhibition. And this man was a surgeon who discussed the coordination of his hands, and when he was in an inhibited mood, if he was really stressed, or if he's feeling ashamed about something, or if he had something on his mind that he couldn't talk about, his hands would get shaky. And because this was due to inhibition. So by speaking your truth, you disinhibit your energy. You allow it to flow. And as your energy starts to flow, you start to release toxic shame that's stuck inside, because we've been taught to bottle it up. Oh, we can't talk about that. No, that's bad. That's taboo. You know, we can't talk about that. So disinhibit yourself, speak your truth, okay? And you can do this in a safe way by joining a support group. You can go to meetup.com, you can go to mensgroup.com, you can Google search, any type of support group in your area. They have everything anonymous. There's Narcotics Anonymous, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's Sexaholics Anonymous. All these groups are basically there to create a container of safe space so people can share what they're going through with non-judgmental people. And I was studying addiction, and I was also going through my own process of releasing addiction, of releasing shame. And I was kind of asking around to see what happens in these groups. And it was through reading a book by David Hawkins called Letting Go. And he described that these support groups' consciousness levels are extremely high. They are beacons of unconditional love. And most of humanity is calibrating at the level of, desire and courage, which is relatively low compared to what we're capable of. So join a support group, join a safe container where you can speak your truth. All right? And the last tip is to share your pain. As you speak about your problems to a non-judgmental atmosphere who's just there to listen, you're no longer keeping that stuck inside your body. And if you choose to do this, what you're going to notice is that you get scared. You're scared because you hear a lot of difficult stories from other people. And you realize that, you know what? Things could be worse for me. Things could be worse. But it's through that recognition and through that presence of not only are you listening to other people, but other people listening to you without judgment, which creates miracles. So give it a try, all right? If you cannot bring yourself to join a group, send me a message through YouTube or find my Instagram at Breathe with Dr. Patel, and we'll figure out a way to get over this obstacle. The last tip is more of a physical tip, a meditative tip, and that's to breathe into your low back. All this testicular breathing is more like a buzzword. It's a catchphrase to get your attention. But where shame actually resides is in the low spine. And if you notice that in moments you're feeling intense shame, if you were to bend forward, you most likely would feel a pain in your low back. It's where the sacrum meets the lumbar spine. There's an articulation there. And when you're experiencing shame, the energy is blocked. It cannot rise. And so what happens is it stays down there and it's unconscious because your mind's up here, right? It's thinking. But whenever that shame stays down there, it becomes very difficult to process. So in this way, you're using your voice to bring the shame up from your spine and put it back out into the universe where it will lovingly take it back. But the choice is yours. All right? If you found this valuable, like and subscribe, show me some love, send it to somebody you care about. If you would like to do a breathing exercise where I show you how to breathe into the lower dantian, part of the subtle body, click right here. If you want to move on up to other levels of consciousness, click on this video right here. We will be discussing anger.